Keith. What's up? So it's days before Eclipse. Lots of good stuff here. This is going to be maybe an abstract video, maybe maybe a lot of focus. Hard to say. I can tell you a couple decisions that I made. One was a financial decision. Just kind of like having some rough times financially, not like anything critical, like my bills are getting paid and stuff, but just not the extra funds in there that I would want. And I have made some decisions about that I wanted to focus on my diet and not take so many herbs and just supplements and all that kind of stuff. And I thought the foundation really needs to be secure. What's the point in pruning the tree if the root needs attention or the ground that the tree is in? You get my metaphors. So around Sunday last, 5 or 6 days ago, I thought, shit, I really need to like have the right space. And this solar eclipse is all about Leo, which, as I'm learning, is fire, but it's the heart. And so I just decided I'd call Dragon Herbs. I knew I wanted to get something kind of Shan, which is, if you're new to me or whatever, I do have like some rootings in traditional Chinese medicine. So there's the Jing, Qi, and Shan. And I would say that working on the foundation, that's the Jing. And you can have other things complement that. But this year has been sort of, while I have felt like I've had some foundational focus with my diet, with working on my music, and it seems like it's been a little more chaotic than I wanted, and which is kind of like, for me, it felt like the Shan. Cut to the chase. So I made the decision to like call up Dragon Herbs, and I talked to Joan, who is a senior herbalist there, and I've talked to her before, but I was like, oh, I want to go for probably some Pearl Shan. I'm looking to have more of a meditative state and get a little more focused during this eclipse season. And I'm really feeling like this eclipse season, and I do want to just, and I'm sorry for the digression, the last fall eclipse season was a really big deal for me. It was really bringing stuff together. And sometimes I think we expect too much because we have all these instant gratification kind of things. With the internet and money and clothing and Amazon and things delivered to our door, and this is not a digression, but so today I pulled up the card. This is from the Thoth deck. It's the 8 of Dis. The Dis would be the sort of plummy looking flowers there. And it's kind of like exactly what I'm talking about. If you see how like firm the bottom is, you know, and then it's sort of coming up and it's very carefully, you know, nicely intertwined. And then you have these very organized flowers there that are not really stepping in each other's way in any way. And that's the ultimate, the little word at the bottom of it is prudence. And I read this book that has interpretations of it. It's pretty complex metaphysical stuff. A lot of stuff I don't get, but what I got out of it is you know, it says that with this card coming up that it's a good time not to gamble unless you have the game fixed in your favor. So that's kind of like what we're doing. Anyways, so with going, I made the decision. I figured this eclipse is a once in a lifetime kind of thing, especially with like where I feel like I'm at. So I just thought I was going to get out of Dragon Herbs with like maybe a $35 purchase to kind of get that Shen, a little more meditative, not feeling so scattered. And so she just said, oh, well, you should go for the wild purple reishi. And then she said, although ultimately you should go for both, the 22 reishis, there's actually 21 reishis in there, and then it has chaga. And so I was like, And I just said to her what I said. I said, you know, and I've actually pulled up a tarot card, and I forgot what I got, but it was something about just go for it. And I am getting what I want. I had really good meditation and really more focus and not feeling so scattered, and lots of other stuff, and just being more in my heart. And the heart is really, you know, the brain, that sort of alternative health community. And I feel as well, we teach, we believe. I know, I don't like that word believe. I know that there's 3 brains that we have. And that's the brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain. And so strangely, not strangely, as you know, which the gut brain is kind of, I haven't really determined exactly what that is, but what I'm getting at is that just that dopamine, serotonin, a lot of brain chemicals, a lot of the feel-good stuff is made there, which sort of nourish the heart, nourish the brain, and, you know, and those get increased as you take probiotics and stuff like that. But the heart is just really what is missing in the whole big picture of, like, it's like the things that we feel, our personality, you know, and a lot of us express that in, like, who we're attracted to in relationships and stuff like that. And of course, we've all felt that of when we're in love, we get that feeling right there. And it just doesn't necessarily have to be another person. It can be some kind of event or some kind of goal or breakthrough, or and then by the same token, when that something really bad happens, or something very disconcerting that just really breaks you to pieces, you can feel that. And then for me, I remember in 2013, like I've talked about this all the time, when I had a really, really bad thing happen with somebody that I was dating, that sort of, like, the whole thing was kind of a deception. And when that came to my realization, it broke my heart, and then that was like connected to my stomach, and I couldn't even think about it. The point is I just decided I needed to, like, be more focused. It's a once in a lifetime thing. Went to the beach, Long Beach, and hung out with my friend Alicia, and just sort of ate some food, and had a nice picnic. You can see, if you're following me on Instagram, you can see that. Kind of fun. Had a lot of fun. A lot of heart stuff. Like, there's not a lot of people I'm comfortable feeling too much time with. I like her a lot. There's going to be a video. I think she's already been in a couple of my demo stuff. She's actually half my age, and we really get on, like, really well. I think that's another thing I need to talk about, is that we have 5 planets in retrograde, and the one that really caught my eye is Neptune when it went in retrograde, because a lot of what I do myself, it's not very organized. It is organized, but it has more this Aquarian kind of vibe of where it's not so left to right, like the process, the reading. It's a deeper understanding. It's amorphous, and so I paid attention to that, and I'm focused on that. And I've actually, when we were down in Long Beach, I bought some big blue and purple candles to sort of pull that together and to be more aware of that energy that's in me. And it's doing certain things of, like, trying to tap into that energy that's just that, you can't put a finger on it. It's like, for me, it's like recorded music from the 70s. Like, to me, a great example is Yes. Their recordings are so magical and so amazing, and it's so like it just has a really divine, like a magic, like an emotional quality to it. And then as they moved into the 80s, and as a lot of things moved into the 80s, it's like, this thing, this meticulous, like, sort of breaking down science, like, kind of thing. And so in this eclipse time, I've always had this attraction to the singer in Yes, who's somebody who's, like, a lot of people are like, oh, what the fuck's that guy's lyrics all about? Like, it's just, I always, when I was younger, I just got a lot out of that stuff. And that is this Reishi thing with me right now, of where I'm trying to feel and not define, and just, like, be in the moment and not sitting there trying to like, there's just so many things that are jacked up right now, and I feel like that's what this eclipse season is people want to know these like meticulous bits of like, oh, this, like, even God, I'm all over the place, but this like I'm just seeing these things like this whole ketonic high carb, like I'm just like, I know what like things I need in my diet, and the macronutrient argument is bullshit. It's entry level. It's entry level. And the same with music and lyric writing and stuff. And it's all about like what makes that wonderful is when it is something that's like just this amorphous quality. And that's what I'm trying to tap into more in a just letting it be. And kind of why I'm sitting here with my guitar is like so much great music has passed me by that I have the potential of writing, and I was just like, dude, you have this great cell phone and you can like, you know, do these. It's like a melody I was working on, and I was just like, oh, okay, well you should like sing along with it. It's like I'm not naturally drawn to being a singer. Maybe at times I have been, but I have a great singing voice, but I've never worked on it. And so it was just like kind of sitting here humming along to a melody that I had, and was just realizing all these tools that I have to get stuff done. So I hope this is not a scattered video. If it is, guess what? I don't care. Some cards I've pulling up. These came up yesterday. These are probably going to sit in front of me for a couple of days. Delusion. It's the 10 of Crystals. It could be seen as a negative card, but actually when you read it in that book that I've been reading from, it's like, again, this ties into what I was talking about, this amorphousness, this like not having like people set out like, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to go do this, and I'm going to go do this. And if you just approach like that's, it's so crazy to people of like they think that everything is known. And so they do these like deep researches about science says this, science says that, science says that. And it's like, and it's actually, it's like the crazy dreaming, the delusion, the like following your crazy hunches and stuff like that. And that's why I'm like, fuck the macro nutrient thing. It's just like, I don't like I know I need to avoid starches because it just doesn't feel right in my colon. I know I need to avoid a degree of sugar because I'm constantly on a parasite cleanse because I am constantly on a parasite cleanse and like not letting that sort of human biome thing get out of control because I have HIV. So those are decisions, but the whole, and it's entry level. That's cool, and that's the thing I had to come to peace with. And so that card's the situation. I have this 3-card spread thing that I've been doing. The action is the Magician, which this is like number 1. It's like probably one of the like the greatest cards that you could get in the tarot deck for like some kind of a thing. But this is like utilizing all the tools at your disposal. Like in the traditional tarot deck, the Magician has all of these, all of the suits of the tarot and just all of these tools and everything at it. So the action is to just use everything that you have. And the result is the Tower. And the Tower, I pulled this, I think, recently. The Tower in other decks is about like outside forces, like sort of like fucking with you, and sort of like it's inevitable. But this one's a little bit more about personal change and about like lighting a fire and getting things going, and just having a complete breakdown. A breakdown in a good way, of stripping away, which I think is what this eclipse is about, of stripping away the stuff that's not needed. I think that in the one book, the book that comes with the tarot deck, it's different from that book, although they're complementary. It talks about the alchemist furnace, and the alchemist furnace is about, sort of using a fire to like burn away the impurities, and I think that's where I have to end this right here. and I hope this isn't too rambling. It's Keith. Support me by supporting my music. I did want to tell you like about my music. There's a digital only album on Bandcamp I have called More Songs About Refracted Light. It's really an important direction for me, and I listen to it. I do listen to my own music, by the way. I mean, maybe I should talk about that at another time. But I think that this record is really, really important with a sort of angel math within there. I created it in 2014, and it was very creative, and then a lot of things within society sort of stopped me. I was intending to put out a record every pagan holiday, equinox and the Sabbats, and that one was my one for winter solstice 2013, and it came out in January. But it was a really important record for me, and then it was important for me that life sort of attacked me. My mom started having heart problems, and then things to do with some of the people I work with who are not quite as fast as I am with music. It kind of came to a big slowdown, and I'm sort of finding all the things that are important to me. And so support me by supporting my music. Again, go to Bandcamp or secondculture.bandcamp.com, and I think that the record, More Songs About Refracted Light, if you want a soundtrack for this eclipse, I think it's really helpful. It's listening alone music. It's not like all it is ambient, but it's like all of my stuff. It's like really rhythmic-y, like lots of like just movement, but not like boom, 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 rock and roll shit. My website, second-culture.com, and you can follow like a lot of my food porn, some of my tarot stuff is on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook. It's necessary. I drop little nuggets here and there. But this blog is over, so I'm going to see you, and I'm going to try to get more stuff up. If I don't see you, have a good solar eclipse. This is mega important, this solar eclipse. Like, shit's going to happen, like, on the outside. And by the way, really try to get inside yourself with all this crazy shit that's going on. It's just sort of the dark trying to like overtake this inevitable positive direction that we're going. And so more than I've ever said, this Monday coming with the solar eclipse and all the alignments and this lots of Leo energy, lots of Mars energy, all these planets in retrograde and stuff like that. You're not going to know who, but come to the end of this year, everything about your life is going to be before and after this era, this summer into the end of the year. I mean, more than just this solar eclipse, but like June, July, starting in June, all the way to the end of the year is this slow portal, this slow DNA rewrite that we have going on. And so try to stay chill. I haven't been at times. I thought that this was going to be very orderly for me. It's not been. Yesterday morning I was feeling chaotic as fuck. And then towards the end of the evening, I kind of took a couple squirts of these. Just got down inside myself and really finding that deeper part. And again, it's that finding that deepness inside yourself, okay? Because it's like we come in this world. This is a freaking big quotation from Reishi Jesus here. That's me. We come in this world alone. We leave alone. And in between, we need to find that same sort of thing, or it's just a repeated cycle. And so you need to like find this time. Find in this time that deepness inside you, because that's why the world is all running around all over trying to look for what Under Armour piece of clothing that they should purchase and why they're like putting stupid crap on social media and not using these strong tools that we have to express and to help others become empowered. So it's Keith with one of the longest rambling blogs that I've done in a while, but hopefully it was helpful. Support me by supporting my music. Links in the drop down. I'm live rock star everywhere. So bright blessings and namaste. The God in me recognizes the God in you. The magical being in me recognizes the magical being in you. And that's the end of the blog. Okay, bye.